In this video, we'll cover how to use the calling module throughout the day and how to manage patient flow and treatment area assignments. When patients are arrived, they enter the calling module queue. Depending on your configuration, patients may be assigned to treatment areas if you have auto-queuing enabled, or you can manually assign where you would like a patient to go. Let's preview the manual assignment option. If I arrive at patient or they check in at the check-in device, I will navigate to my flow screen. At this point, I will drag and drop the patient into the treatment area. That is manually assigning. If you have auto-queuing enabled and the patient is arrived, then Cairo HD will automatically assign the patient to the appropriate treatment area depending on your configuration and mapping. As you can see here, this appointment was automatically assigned to Table 1. There was a slight delay because I had the queuing delay set up. So again, remember, the calling module technically has two functions: assigning patients to treatment areas and/or calling them and announcing them to those treatment areas. I can use both functions or use the functions independently. I can manually assign and have it call. I can manually assign and not have it called. Or I could have it auto-queued and not called. Or auto-queued and calling enabled. Let's say that Thomas is coming in and I need to talk to him about something. I can block him from the queue at when his appointment has arrived. I have a slight delay set up, and I can drag him to the block from queue section. This simply means this patient is on hold from being assigned and called until I push the play button. I can also, from the SOAP note screen, remove the block from call feed by click call again, which will unblock the patient. Again, this is to be used if I need to talk with the patient about something, and I don't want them to go back to the room just yet. You can also achieve blocking a patient by alerts. There is a specific block from queue option if you want to preemptively set up the next time a patient comes in, for them to be blocked automatically, or you can block from queue right in that moment by dragging them from the flow screen to the block from queue section. Another way that I can call patients or assign them to the room is from the SOAP note screen. Let's say the patient is in the exam room and I, for some reason, need to move where they're at and call them to Table 1. I can do so from the SOAP note screen by clicking Call Patient. That will audibly call the patient and assign them. Treatment area availability can also be managed from the SOAP note screen. This lock button will allow me to enable or disable treatment areas on the whim. If I disable a treatment area, you will see that locked button turn orange, indicating that it is disabled. That treatment area, since disabled, is also not available on my flow screen. You can see also my calling configuration tab is disabled. I can re-enable it from my calling configuration or from this screen. Another factor that affects the assigning of patients to areas is your family management setup. We do have a whole article about this, but if I have a family set up and I have them check to be called together, when this head of household uses the check-in device and arrives their family, anybody that has checked called together will all be called to the same room. They're being called together and assigned to the same room. Let's go over what having auto-queuing disabled means. Now the office has to manually assign patients to treatment areas from the Flow tab. Here I can see all the appointments that arrived under this provider's calendar, appointments that arrived under this provider's calendar, and who has been blocked from the queue. I also can see right now there is a patient at Table 1. I can drag, let's say John has an exam today, so I need to drag him to the exam room. Now I want to drag the massage appointment to my massage room. Then when the doctor does their SOAP note, you can see on the Flow tab that that patient is now under treated. Treated means that a SOAP note has been submitted or saved as a draft, and I can move the next patient into that area. From the SOAP note screen, the provider also has the option to use our Submit and Assign feature. This is designed where you want to take an appointment and assign it to multiple areas, and there'd be one SOAP note that everyone adds onto that SOAP note as they're in those different areas. So I can submit my part of the SOAP note and assign it to the next available part and assign that appointment to the next desired treatment area. Again, if I'm looking at the Flow tab, I can see what patients have been assigned and what patients have been arrived and are still waiting to be assigned. Now let's go through the next situation if auto-queuing is enabled and calling is enabled. When auto-queuing is enabled, the appointments will be automatically assigned to treatment areas when the appointment has arrived. The appointment can be arrived either manually or by patients using the check-in device. So I'm going to first arrive these two. You can see that these patients were automatically assigned, and Thomas was assigned once I removed his block from queue scenario. Now let's arrive a couple more appointments and see what happens. Now you can see this appointment was the only one that was assigned, although these have also been arrived. That's because their appointment mapping goes to Table 1 or Table 3, which are still full. Once those appointments have a SOAP note submitted, that room will now be open and the next appointment gets assigned. So again, with the calling module, you can use it in a number of ways to assign patients to treatment areas, either automatically or manually, and you can have Cairo HD call the assignment or not call the assignment.